Hey everyone, welcome to another video review. This is the Mastermind Creations Ocular Max InfiniteFinity IF-02 Stray. A wild, kind of weird masterpiece pseudo thing of, well, drift. You can see him there in front of the box. We'll put it off the side real quick, and yeah, look at the box. Yeah, it is very much in line with the usual Ocular Max boxes. You got, well, nice bit of artwork there. Well, Stray with the sword and everything, kind of being all cool and all that, you know. IF-02 Stray Swordman, and Ocular Max, you got the InfiniteFinity Dimensions bridge right there on top. On this top here, you have a couple shots of both the car mode and the robot mode. On this side, you have again the artwork of Drift. Side more the same artwork of Drift for the front. On the bottom here, you have some warnings and whatnot for ages 16 and up, and also choking hazard. And on the back, you have, hey, look, the cool transformation sequence and some, hey, first edition incentive if you bought the first edition, like, well, I did. And hey, look, is a bio right there if you want to go ahead and read that. And of course, some tech specs with the little red thing. You got to use the little thing that's included, the little decoder. And hey, look, there you go. There's a tech spec. So yeah, that's the box. And included in the box, you get the instructions, which are they're MMC instructions, which means they're not the greatest. There's definitely some things it kind of glosses over and doesn't explain very well, and it's like, yeah, it's not the greatest. It's not awful. You can eventually figure it out, but there's definitely a lot of stuff which kind of leaves out that's kind of important. You also get the bio card, which is this very thin, really thin paper. And you got again the artwork right there, some new artwork there. On the back, you have again the bio and some pictures, and hey, look, the tech specs and vehicle mode, and also, I'm not sure how common this is, but at least if you ordered it from a Planet Steel Express, you get this little thing. Hey, look, those are, hey, look, that's so interesting looking. Those are actual, like, logos and stuff. And, yeah, what this is, instructions, because this is a pack of stickers. 4 sets, essentially, 2 of which have outlines, if you need those, and 2 of which don't, to make it basically look more like an actual Toyota Sprinter Trueno. You know, a AK version, particularly the version that appeared in the anime Initial D, which is why it has the Tofu Shop logo right there. And the, well, license plate from there. I haven't applied them yet, because you have to cut these out yourself. There's no pre-cut. You have to cut it out and apply it yourself. So I'm going to do that one day, but I haven't done it yet. It's going to be a bit. I do want to do that, so I'm going to do that eventually. But yeah, you can see, Stray here is a Toyota AE86, the weeaboo car. And yeah, it is a fantastic looking car. It's very good looking Toyota Sprinter AE86. Getting in close a little bit, you can see, yeah, well, it's pretty much white with the black, highlight detailing and whatnot, which, just like the, well, hero car in Initial D and everything. You got the orange is picked out. You got the little fog lights picked out. Translucent windows. Nice shiny black rims, rubber tires. The tail lights are picked out and everything. Real nice. Everything just looked real nice. You got even door handles are picked out. Little bumps in the. There you got the windshields and everything. You even got a little. It's really cool. Also, yeah, you can open the doors. Oops. You can open the doors here, and yeah, there's seats. You can also kind of see his head. But there's little seats in there, and there's like everything in the dashboard, and because yeah, it's a Japanese car, it's a JDM car, so guess what? Steering wheel's on this side. You also see the little hole right there on the dashboard. I don't know what that's for. I'll get to that in a little bit, but yeah, doors open. Yeah, there's even like a little bit of detailing on the inside of the doors, if you can see that. Not a whole lot, but a bit of detailing. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's really cool, and also even the gas tanks picked out and some detailing. So yeah, it's really nice, really good looking. Yeah, if you're into Initial D, that's kind of the big draws. If you're an Initial D, here you go. Here's a transformer that, yeah, and it rolls really nicely. It's got the nice rubber wheels. There's a bit of friction, but again, it just rolls pretty well. And on top of that, also the cool thing is, hey, guess what? Headlights go up. Yeah, headlights go up. Yeah, it's got a little translucent. Yeah, they got the actual translucent. They look like headlights, and yeah, they pop up and everything. Little pop-up headlights. With Sprinter, AE86. So yeah, it's real great. It's pretty cool. So So yeah, this is a fantastic little car. I love that they did this. And you can see also the underside is also really clean as well. Yeah, so a couple accessories for this mode. One of which, actually I'm going to show you the most insane one, which is little tiny thing. See that? It looks like there's this little white peg or something, right? That's supposed to be the water cup from the initial D anime, you know, that doesn't spill because, you know, he's so smooth in the corners and everything. And getting in there, because, yeah, there's that little hole in the dashboard. How the heck are you supposed to get this in here? It's tiny and yeah. Well, so to get it in there, I found the best way to just open the doors and then I'll untab this back half of the roof right there and then untab this part of the roof. Clear it so then you can get this all extended, and that gives you just enough clearance, at least in my opinion, to get the stupid cup in there. Which, yeah, this thing is tiny, so it's like this is probably one of the first piece that everyone's gonna lose. Yeah, the cup goes in there. Fortunately, it doesn't doesn't friction in or anything. It will just fall out if you mess around too much. So be careful. Once you got it in there, you do not want to lose this thing. Granted, the thing is, if you've got the doors closed, chances are this thing is not going to fall out very easily. But yeah, it's just, it's cool, I guess, but I'm debating whether or not I want to, like, glue it in there or just kind of keep it in the bag and just never touch it ever again. But getting that all back down and everything, there. Yeah, you can see in there, hopefully, the little cup is right there inside the oh, I don't have it. Little cups inside on the dashboard, and that's pretty cool. Now, there are a couple of accessories, namely, well, there's some that are kind of relevant to the wow, I cannot talk right now. A couple of accessories that are relevant to the alt mode here, namely swords. Got one big sword. You see, a little big-ish. People complain about it being this short, but it kind of, well, down to the nature of the car, it has to be shorter, otherwise it'd be sticking like out here, so you don't want that. You guys, you know, again, the sword has nice silver paint, or like silver paint with some gold detailing, some red dots. There's also got a little thing right here on the handle, and he's also, of course, got the two smaller swords. Again, kind of same silk detailing on the blade, and also the gold and red on the hilts and everything. And these can all store down on the bottom here, and yeah, that thing's gonna pop out. So I'm just going to go ahead and get that water cup out of here. Just get out of the way. I don't want it rattling around in there. But down here, on the bottom of the car, to get this sword, it actually splits into three pieces. Untabs right here, and right there, from the handle, the hilt, and the blade all separate. And the hilt here, there's a long slot and a short slot. The long slot can slot into either end on either of these tabs right here, and you have to make sure to, you know, transform specifically, because they tell you to have the fingers extended, but the thing is, if the fingers extended, they're in the way. So yeah, you kind of have to do that. And just getting it in when it's already in car mode is a little tricky, but it's doable. And I have to, you know, make sure one hand is already, you know, folded up. You kind of push it out of the way a little bit, so then you get this in there and hopefully tab it in. Because it could be a little tricky, to say the least. Okay, I got that tabbed in. Hit the hand back into position. Well, so there's that. That's plugged into place. And you can take the little swords here, and they have little, you see there's little peg holes on one side of each of them. There's a little peg and a big peg, and you just get those. I think the little peg on first, and then get the big peg in position over the big peg, and that seems to be easier than the other way around, at least for me personally. So that's one in, and here, and there's the other pegged in, and then this piece right here. This has a tab right here, and there's a little slot right here. You can just tab that in right there, and then this right here, there's this right here, you just kind of open this up, and then you can put the sword in and close it up. This is the weakest connection, I feel. This I wish was tighter. It's unfortunately wobbly. It will hold, but it's wobbly. I wish it was tighter. So yeah, that's the sword. And now you look, the cool thing about the sword handles actually now looks like a tow hitch, which is clever of them. So yeah, that's the weapon storage. It's really well done on that front. So yeah, there you go. It looks great, and the weapon store great, and yeah, MMC once again did a great job on this. So yeah, some quick comparisons. Since it's clearly supposed to be kind of Masterpiece-esque considering the Ocular Max release. Again, here's MP49 right there. Yep. As for scale, it's probably a little big. It's the thing. It's in that mushy. It will pass, but it's very mushy, not quite to scale thing because they're never perfectly in scale with each other in alt mode. So there's that. This also a quick comparison here. Standard carbot of MP Sideswipe. Again, probably a little too big. Lambos are very small, short cars, but I don't think they're that short. At least I don't think so. I don't know though, but yeah. There's that. And I don't have any other version. I don't have any other MMC version of Drift, but I do have. I do have the Generations. Well, what line was this? Whatever. It's based on Generations. It's Deadlock. That one exclusive eHobby release or whatever. It's Deadlock, which is based on Generations Drift, so you get an idea there. For yeah, this is a mainline Generations release, but this gives you an idea of the scale between the two. If you have this version of Drift. So there you go. Yeah, again, wonderful alt mode, and very much this is the star of the show. This is part of the reason why a lot of people want this thing is simply because it's the car from Initial D. So the fact that it's like this, and the fact they also kind of cheekily added the stickers to make it look even more like the car from Initial D is kind of surprising, and also very even more questionably legal, to say the least. So yeah, that's the alt mode. So I'm going to go ahead and get him transformed into the robot mode, and we'll continue this review. So yeah, Stray in his robot mode is wonderful. I think he's wonderful overall. He's kind of really, how shall we put it, takes liberties of the whole G1 aesthetic thing. I mean, kind of more along the lines of his original appearance though, but still you can see he's got that very much that kind of old ninja samurai robot thing going on. He's got his windshield chest with a little roof right there. He got the some of the detailing behind the windshield. If you can see that, the little blue things. The default head you can see is the I'm gonna raise this up just a little bit more. There we go. The default head is the kind of this more swept back with the little crests on this. On there, you got the blue eyes, you know, you got gray bit, and you got the gold little picks out, gold on the shoulders and everything. You got the hood, shoulders, wheels on the forearms, everything, all that stuff. The gold and red right here, a bit of silver right there. The kneecaps, which unfortunately kind of don't have any soft looking points. And the white and black and red down here, little bits of paint, and yeah, he cleans up really nicely too. I mean, he doesn't really. His kibble is like. He's a pretty thin robot. I mean, his kibble is basically here's the doors of the scabbards, and here's the shoulders are the fronts, you know, kind of part of the front of the car, and you know, got more of the car down here, but cleans up nicely. So he's still recognizably like, hey, this is a transformer, but like in a way that's like, how do I put this? Clean, I guess. Yeah. So. And he just looks really nice. I like how he looks. Although I think there's ways to make it even look even better, and those are thankfully included. But I'll get to that in a little bit. First of all, posability. His head is on a ball joint. You got left and right. You got up and down. You got waggle all over the place. He's got a really posable head right there. Shoulders can do a full 360 right here like that. There is a outward. You got that, and a little bit right here as well. You have these right here, these big old massive blocks also act as can help act as butterfly joints, and you can basically, you know, like swivel them right in there in place, or you can bring them out a little bit and swivel them more, and so on. So you got a lot going on there, which is great. You got a bicep swivel right here. You got a double jointed elbow, which goes about that far. The wrists do swivel, although you have to be careful because the fingers can pop off really easily, and these are a little stiff. They do swivel, and there's also a hinge right here, so you can fold it in and out. Also this hinge right here can also, if you want to fold it in, that's transformation hinge, but still, you know, if you want to fold it in as well, though, yeah, so there's that. And one other piece of articulation I want to show is, right here, is one other piece of articulation I forgot to talk about, which is right here, there's a hinge right there, right along the wrist, so, be mindful of that as well. Make sure that's, you know, that's something you can use as well. Totally forgot about that. Just doesn't register that that's a thing, because it's like almost never an actual point of articulation. Down here at the hands, yeah, you got the thumb is on a ball joint right here, and so you got that, so it can, you know, move around and twist and everything. There's also a hinge right here, another hinge right there. So there's two hinges on the thumb plus the ball joint. The fingers all have individually articulated. You got, you know, multiple hinges, including the base hinge, the mid knuckle, and the end knuckle. So yeah, you got that. Every single finger is like that, and on top of that, they all have. Yeah, you can see what I mean by they just pop right off. Once lost one for about 10 minutes. It fell off and dropped in the carpet. But yeah, they all have splay, which is nice. So yeah, you can get a lot right there. So just be careful with them though, because again, there's a lot of it's very easy for them to just kind of pop off and uh-oh, they're gone. And now you're going contact MMC. You do have a waist swivel, which is nice. It's a tight friction hinge, but you know, it's a waist swivel right there. You do have an ab crunch, which goes about that far. See that? Hips are pretty cool. You got the hip skirts right here, right there as well. You got the hip skirts. Goes forward about that far. You got back about that far. There is a kind of a sliding hinge as well, so you can get, if you slide it down that hinge, you can get it up a bit further, which is again pretty nice. It's kind of also snug, so you got to make sure it's all the way up for the transformation, or it's going to go badly. The scabbards are also can twist and hinge and everything, which is good because, you know, sometimes you need to get them out of the way because you got that. He's really out of the way. You got about, yeah, I've got about that far outward. You do have a thigh swivel, which is nice. Get that much. The knees, there is a double joint. There is the upper ratchet joint, and then there's a lower friction joint right there. So yeah, you can get about that much range before things start to kind of press in a way that's like, I'm worried about that translucent plastic breaking. Some people apparently reported a problem with the right knee in particular being way too tight. It loosens up. Some people have resorted to undoing the screw, but my experience, it does loosen up after a time. So if you, I would say just kind of break it in, and it will loosen on its own. So you don't have to, Good news is if you did loosen the screw, you can just, you know, fix it by tightening it back down. But yeah, that's the knee joint, and down here at the ankle, we do have tilt that much forward and back because of this hinge. Oops, I don't think I popped that in all the way. I don't know if I accidentally popped it out of alignment or it wasn't popped forward all the way, but regardless, yeah. You have the ankle tilt. There's no real, like, there's forward and back is limited to just the toe. The toe can move up and down. Like, there's actually multiple hinges just for the toe, which is interesting. Yeah. Theoretically, if you untab it from the heel, you can get a little bit of this, although you're kind of faking it at that point, because, you know, you're just kind of breaking the leg sculpt, but it's a possibility if you like it. It's a potential possibility. Yeah, that's posability. He's pretty darn posable overall. I really rather like him as from posability wise. The only thing maybe is the feet could have been done a little bit differently to add a little bit more, but, you know, it's not to the point of I'm going to go, oh no, that's awful. Now, as for the weapons, of course, one, you could reassemble the sword, you know, just kind of doing all that. Reassemble that. You can hold the swords. There is no tab slot system like most Masterpiece figures have, so it's just kind of friction. It's not horrible. He's not horrible at holding the swords, but it doesn't take much to knock them out of the hands either, unfortunately, because just, again, it's just friction. It's just using friction to hold the sword in place, and yeah, sometimes getting the swords in place is kind of a pain in the butt, but it's doable. It holds pretty well. It is friction, but it holds pretty well. You know, the swords can do that either hand, which, yeah, you can take the big sword or whatever you want to do on that front. Just kind of get those fingers wrapped around it. Sometimes when you have a camera in front of you, it's a little more difficult to do. That's the thing, because it's friction, it's a little more difficult to get the between the fact it's friction and the hands are like they have the superposability. It could be a bit of a pain to get the swords in place, but it is doable. This one is the big one's more and more pain. But also on top of that, if you don't want them holding the swords, you can also have them stored away. The two small ones, of course, go in the scabbards, like that, and like that. In place. Yeah, as far as I know, there's no way to remove the scabbards outright. Not really. And yeah, the big one back here, which is cool, what you do here is back here, there's this thing. What you do is you slide right here, let's see this little rivet, you slide this plastic on the rivet down, and this pops up, and then, well, you got a little sheath for the sword. And that's pretty cool. So, yeah. That's your weapon storage. And now, as for alternative stuff you can do to adjust his look if you want. If you want to adjust his look, you can do so multiple ways. One is the shoulders. Right here at the shoulders, there's one that's already come untabbed. But with the shoulders, what you can do is actually adjust these a little bit. You can untab this and bring it up a bit. You have to kind of, there's a hinge. Right here, you can see that there's a hinge right here. You have to bring it up on. Bring it up a bit on the shoulder, and see now there's these slots. Here, this central tab is what's used for the lower position. These two side tabs are used for right here. You can bring up the shoulder a bit like that. Let's bring that down. There you go. Now it's it looks a little more, I guess, quote unquote, transformed to give them a taller shoulder. And I kind of like this look and prefer this look myself. I personally prefer this look, I think, so I'm going to think this is the one I'm going to go with, personally. I also forgot there's also, yeah, because of the multiple hinges in there, you can also adjust his shoulder height. So I forgot about that. Yeah, you can do that. You can make him up and down like that, depending on how you want to do things. You do that. He's got, interestingly, which kind of almost tips off, I think we're going to get a deadlock out of this, which is this right here. You can adjust this and bring this up, and hey, look, it's got detailing right here, specifically kind of more for deadlock. Some people prefer this. I'm not sure if I do. I think I prefer it. I still think I prefer it like this, personally. The other thing is, yeah, but he also is a little floppy. This is also a somewhat common problem, this being floppy. But I'm going to try to tighten that up a bit, but it's not horrible. That's another thing. Another thing down here is the kneecaps. You can actually slide these. These slide up like this. To guys make them more IDW accurate, I guess. And I actually like that, so I'm going to do that as well. And there's also face plates right here. There's different face plates. I'm going to get this out of the way because it's different face plates. For this particular head, there are 2 alternates. You got this kind of plain, kind of a more neutral expression. You got this kind of grrr face, and also I think that's a smile. I'm not sure. Looks kind of like a smile. And with that, you just kind of get under the head here, and it's a little bit of a pain because, well, yeah, you get under the chin. The problem is, yeah, getting under the chin is a pain in the butt. That was not supposed to pop off. Oh, that was not supposed to be able to pop off that ball gun, but yeah, get under the chin here. Man, I forgot how much. This head is a pain to get the face off. Yeah, holy crap. Yeah, this head is not one I'm particularly happy with on that regard, but yeah, you can take the face off and, put the new one on. Very snug fit, but it'll go on, and it's very pointy too, so it's also a pain in the butt to actually push it on because, ow, my fingers, Yeah, you can see now he's got a bit of a smirk on this one. Yeah, that was not supposed to pop off the ball joint either. I shouldn't have been able to do that, yet it did. So a little worrying. But yeah, you can do that. I'm not doing it again, but yeah, also, yeah, of course, the head comes off, and you're supposed to, undo the screw on the back of the head to bring it off. It's not supposed to be able to pop off on its own, because there is the, as you probably remember on the back of the box, the alternate head, which, well, you got this more kind of traditional drift head, and you got this one, which was based off some concept art. There's an eye patch. I prefer this one. Looks a lot more 80s to me, so I prefer that one. So I'm going to swap them real quick. But yeah, just, unscrew the head. Supposed to unscrew it and pop it off, not just pop it off, but yeah, so sorry, unscrew this one a little bit and popping it on and screwing it back down. There. And this seems to be the more popular option I've seen. Most people seem to prefer this head, which, yeah, I'm very much in agreement. This head is much better head. It also comes with its own alternate faces, which actually there's quite a few of them comparatively. You've got, again, the standard neutral face. You got a smiling face. They all come with an eye patch, by the way. You got this open mouth, like screaming face. You got another kind of growling face. And you have kind of a slight smirk, I guess. So, yeah, again, the same thing here, which is, man, getting underneath the chin to pop out the face. This one, I think, is a little bit easier. I think. It's a little bit. Not a whole lot. I got it out easier before. Yeah, especially if you have a sputter. Yeah, getting that one out is easier. They're probably gonna be like, oh, you're supposed to, get the head off or something. But I'm like, this is a lot of work. Yeah, you can swap faces pretty easily. Well, I say pretty easily. I say right after struggling. But yeah, you can swap the faces, and it generally works. And yeah, I wish it was a little bit better. That's one big drawback on this figure that I have. Other big drawbacks people have. I've noticed definitely some QC issues, seemingly from the whole rush it out of the door before Chinese New Year hits thing going on. People straight up, like some of these panels right here missing, these screw hole covers being missing. What else did I see? I think someone was missing a weapon. I'm not sure. Scuffs. I've seen some. It's like scuffed swords was another one I saw. I think someone was missing the cup. Of course, that's one of the things you might have lost. It's one of those. Not sure if they was missing or was just lost because opened up the package and just dropped. Yeah, a couple things. I think someone was missing a finger. Yeah, it's just Yeah, there's been a couple QC issues, unfortunately. Mine seems to be pretty much free of those. And also also another thing, I didn't mention it, but yeah, transformation, I didn't say it at all, I don't know why I bring it up at all, but transformation is actually, it's weird because the first few times, particularly if you're trying to follow the official paper instructions, you'll be like, what? And like, it's kind of confusing, and like, it's like, it'll feel like it's not coming together, and it turns out you don't have everything right in the right place. There's a lot of little touches you have to do, like the hips have to be exactly lined up. If they're not, it will not tab together. If the shoulder joints are in the right position, it won't come together properly in the alt mode, and so on and so forth. There's a lot of little things you have to get exactly right for it to do. But once you get it figured out, all the steps, it's actually pretty fun. I think, yeah, once you figure it out, it's actually a really fun transformation, honestly. It's just getting there, getting to that point of figuring it out, which, again, is not very well helped by the official instructions. But, hey, once you figure it out, though, I think it's worth it. And hopefully my video helps with that. So I'm going to be showing how to transform this guy. So, yeah, I think it's overall a really great figure. Yeah, it just kind of got some growing pains and, unfortunately, some QC issues which plague it. But nothing's too bad so far, at least in my opinion. That's nothing that MMC won't help with. They're very nice and great about getting you your parts you need. But anyway, some comparisons real quick. Yeah. Again, because he's Masterpiece-esque, I guess here's MP49. Just give you an idea there. It's off camera. Give you an idea there. There's MP49. Yeah. They're almost certainly going to do a deadlock, and if that's the case, what's a dreadlock? Yeah, deadlock. If they do that as the case, oh man, they're going to look good together. I might get deadlock just because, depending on what the deco looks like, I might get deadlock too. I'm not sure. Again, here's a standard MP Carbot. Here's Sideswipe. He's a bit taller than that, obviously, but Drift being a bit taller is fine to me personally. I'm fine with a bit of variety with a Carbot size, so, you know, him being a bit smaller than Sideswipe here, that's fine. And again, don't really have a whole lot of other drifts, but here's, again, the Deadlock based off the Generations drift. This was, the eHobby exclusive. Again, it's funny enough, the complaints people have had about the MMC sword is just funny because it's shorter than this one, even though, but that one's also rubbery and floppy. So yeah, there you go on that front. Yeah, again, unfortunately, I do not have it in any other MMC drift, so I can't really do that comparison. So, as a whole, this is a great toy. I like this thing, but there's also a little problem. He did cost $110, but there's a little problem, which is this is the limited run exclusive version. At this time of this recording, Toy Dojo still apparently has pre-orders open because apparently their shipment was delayed, so they're not getting it until like late March, early April at the earliest. At this time of this recording, they have it. Then by the time the video goes up, they might already be sold out. So here's the thing. The appeal for this, for a lot of people, is straight up, this is an Initial D homage. Basically, Initial D, you know? If that's the big draw, this is the only version that's probably going to appeal to you. All the other variants, of which apparently there's going to be 5 more, are not going to appeal because they're not Initial D. Right? Because they've already had the pre-order up for the normal version, which all retailers have. Because I believe, like, yeah, this version was Planet Steel Express, Toy Dojo, and Ages 3 and Up pretty much had, and I think one other store had like exclusive rights to it. And most of them sold out pretty quickly. They already have pre-orders up for the alternative version, which is basically a different version of the Toyota Sprinter. No pop-up headlights, kind of a red pattern on the car, a wide body kit, and apparently a 1-in-12 chase variant with translucent red windows. But also has pretty much most of the same accessories minus the water cup and no alternate head. But it has the same swords and everything. So if the mold itself or the character appeal to you, you might consider getting that one if this one's hard to get. Or the other four variants we don't know yet. I saw that apparently an MMC guy or someone worse than MMC said that there's going to be 6 variants total. I'm willing to bet there's probably going to be Deadlock, a Shattered Glass, and yeah, and I don't know what the other 2 will be, but yeah, something or another. So yeah, if the Initial D thing is your appeal, you better hurry up, jump on that Toy Dojo pre-order if it's still available. If that's the big draw for you, then you need to jump on that. If you're just kind of like, I like a cool drift or a cool robot, any version I think of this mold will be, I think, appealing. It's a awesome. The alt mode is pretty great. It looks like the other one is pretty great. I'm not going to get that one. I might get Deadlock though. It depends. It depends on what the deco is for Deadlock if they do one. The transformation, once you get past the hurdle of the instructions kind of suck, it's pretty fun. And the robot mode's fantastic and really posable. I mean, you can get, two-handed, the two-handed poses and everything with the swords, and it's just a good figure, I think. It's just that initial, this one had a few QC bumps because of, rushing out for Chinese New Year, and also bad instructions leading people to think that it doesn't work right or something. But I think it's worth it. At about, just a little over $100, I think it's worth it. It's a great figure, and it's a good, solid figure, and I think it's worth checking out. Even if you missed the initial D version, this initial D version. So yeah, if you can't get your hand on this one, consider checking out one of the other 5 variants that are coming down the line. Maybe they'll do the initial D version with the carbon fiber hood. Who knows? But I recommend it. I highly recommend it. So, I hope this review was informative and entertaining. Hope you like, comment, subscribe. Check out my social medias down in the description and at the end of the video. Check out my Coffee and my Patreon. I shall see you next time with another video review.